Hi, welcome to Elementary Music with Donna. Today I have a song for you called See My Little Candle, and it also has alternate lyrics, and it is called See the Snowflakes Falling, but we will talk about both of those variations after I have sung a little bit of See My Little Candle for you. See my little candle shining in the night, bringing to the darkness one small spot of light. Even though my candle may be very small, when I share my candle, there is light for all. And then you are hearing an 8-bar piano break, and at that spot in the song I have some suggestions for what you can do with some candles. We'll talk about that in a minute. And then the song returns to the A section, which is exactly the same lyrics I just sang, repeated. So this song is in an ABA form with the vocal part making up the A sections and the piano break creating the B section. This is created this way on purpose to be as simple as possible for young singers. This may be their very first concert. It's early in the year. We don't want to overload them with too many lyrics, and so that way they have a good concert performance experience for their very first go at being on a stage in front of an audience, and we want that to be positive and successful for their initial introduction into performing. I've heard many stories of people who had a very traumatic first concert experience, and that stayed with them for their whole lives. They talk about it even as an adult. I remember the first time I was on the stage and I cried. It was awful, and they remember that. So we want it to be positive for sure. This song has a few pedagogical elements to focus on with your students, but not many. It really is created for that performance niche that we're trying to fill, and it's not a process-oriented activity, it's a product-oriented activity, which is very different than in my music classroom. In my music classroom, I am working on creative, child-centered, play-based learning, and we are working through a process. And when you're going for a performance, you want an end product. It's supposed to have a completed sort of form that you want it to be at the end of it all. So that's quite a different process in my classroom as a focus for me. So when you are working on this song, if you start it by talking about expressive singing, you're going to talk about diction, good, clean, crisp consonants on things like one small spot of light, and some beautiful round vowels. And maybe you can talk about the shapes of the phrases. You can move your hand as you're singing and show the shape. And lastly, but probably the most difficult pedagogical part of this whole song, is to teach your young singers to be singing legato, long phrases in that slow speed. That's probably the most difficult part of the song. After you get that under your belt and you start working on honing your performance things, you want to make sure that they are confident in the lyrics, and once they get that part done, then you might be able to add a little bit of some props with this. I think it would be lovely to have those little battery operated candles. You can have each student have one of those in their hand, not visible to the audience for that opening A section, but in the B section as the piano's playing, they can turn those lights on and bring them up, so then all of a sudden you see these points of light all through your ensemble. The more people you have and the more lights you have, the more amazing that could be, I think. And then for the repeat of that A section, they can hold that candle as they're singing, and it just is a lovely visual addition to the performance. There are a bunch of different ways that you can introduce those lit candles. They can either turn them on and then bring them up as they're already lit. They can bring them up and then light them. You can have them all do it at the same time. You can have them do them randomly, which I think is the nicest variation and all that. And there are a couple of ways to do that. You can have students assigned to a number and scatter those numbers through your ensemble. So 1, 2, 3, 4 are all mixed all over the place. And then as you hold up one finger, those students light their candles, then 2, then 3, then 4, and so on. So that will give you random points of light. And you can also, this is more tricky, but you can also say to the students, light your candle whenever you think it is a nice time to do it in that 8 bars, and just try to do it when the person next to you isn't. It will be truly random when you do it that way. When you are working on this song, if you want it to be about snow instead of candles, there is an option to sing See the Snowflakes Falling. Let's see what it is here for sure. See the snowflakes falling, gently drifting down, like a cozy blanket covering the ground. See the snowflakes falling, floating in the breeze, falling on the trees and on my friends and me. So it can be a candle song or it can be a snow song. Now what are you going to do in that 8-bar break when you don't have candles because it doesn't fit with the lyrics? You can also add some snowflakes as a prop. I have one here. And I recommend making your snowflake. This is a 3-dimensional one. You can do whatever kind of snowflake you would like. I have it on a string. And when a snowflake is on a string, as you move it, it's got some flow and some movement to it. So the students can bring their snowflake up and move it around in a more flowing manner than if they're holding the snowflake and just doing this. So you can see how that's much more static. And this is much more flowing. But you can, of course, do whatever works with your students in creating snowflakes and adding that as just a visual addition to your concert presentation. See My Little Candle and See the Snowflakes Falling are available at donnaandandy.com. That download includes a vocal score, full score, and lyrics for both versions of the song, and there are 2 accompaniment tracks. One is just the piano accompaniment and one is the accompaniment with the melody guide played, and those accompaniment tracks work with both versions of the lyrics. Wherever you are, if you are singing about candles or you are singing about snowflakes, I hope you have a great day making music and make music a great part of your day.